but my driver has actually said that they've been looking for it. So
Hmm.
I better show up.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So I was like, oh, all right. So it looks like, oop, we are live.
It's like, what do I look like
There we go.
today?
Okay.
It's good.
Um, all right. So we've already done our chickens and wins, thankfully. And I just wanted to jump on here because I do my best to try and listen to what's going on. And I haven't been on here for a while. So my story is long if I do the whole entire thing. But the bullet points are that I've spent the majority of my life, 43, 44 years, fighting through life instead of surrendering and allowing. That's a lot of the bottom line. Many things and many times throughout, I've been shown that pushing through life doesn't work. And I'm stubborn, so it took me a long time. At 20, I had a car accident um, that left me pretty angry with religion and God because I couldn't understand why so many things were going right in my life. And yet, because this person was late to run church, she hit me at somewhere between 45 and 55 miles an hour. During that time, I also, um, my grandma went through some physical stuff. So while I was healing from 4 compressed discs and losing 2 inches of my height and seeing a chiropractor 5 days a week minimum to attempt to walk again, because I didn't realize and know to take care of myself. So I re injured myself and made it even more, yeah, compacted because I didn't realize the pain I had done to my back until I went back to work. And at that point in time, I was in a warehouse. So I threw my 70 pounds on my shoulders, just like regular, and knew right there that, uh-oh, I'm not okay. That chiropractor is the first time that I started learning about natural medicine and energy, and him telling me that I needed different things to help heal different parts of my body. So that was 28 years ago, or coming up on 28 years ago. Whole bunch of things in between, but from 28 years in between that, it was lots of chronic, acute, you're going to be stuck with this stuff for the rest of your life. From carpal tunnel to the herniated discs to endometriosis, IBS, asthma, all these things. So by the time I was 20, I had started living my life in fear of so many things. Because I also came out at that point in time and found out that the people that I was caring so much about didn't love me for me. They had said that they were okay with me being me and being interested in girls and being bisexual. But the minute that I got my first girlfriend, it only took a short time before I realized that they weren't as accepting. And it broke my heart because my whole life was revolved around them. Because I thought that I had to keep my world small. I thought that I had to fit into one box. What my journey has taught me, because by the time I was 28, my mom friends and I were laughing and joking because at 28 I was thrown into chemical menopause my first time, um, to help counteract um, the endo and all of that. By the time I was blessed with Jazz, um, I had just lost 85 pounds and had been through some horrific times in my life, from 2006 wanting to end my life and the two turtles that are in our backyard saving my life, because thankfully and gratefully I had it in my head that I had to take care of them. So they were my focus to get me out of my funk and to get me out of the things, because unfortunately at the time the counselors that were readily available to me weren't helping. So I started deep diving into books and more energy work, because every time I was hit with something this way, another piece was like, that doesn't feel right. Look into this. Thankfully, I've listened to my intuition. But a lot of times, because doctors have degrees, I listened to them. And even though my body was like, no, I don't like that, I still listened because they knew better than me. That's what I was taught. Thankfully and gratefully, after Jazz, um, and listening to doctors, because I was pushing myself in so many things, trying to do everything, especially when I went back to work after 4 months, um, working, commuting, trying to take care of a house, a baby, um, keep up with family, bring Jazzy around everybody. My body was breaking down and nothing was working. Um, it broke my heart because the first 2 years of her life, because my body was in such flames, I couldn't even hold her because it hurt. I would go to hold her and she would hug me tight, and my entire body would retch in pain. And there's been several moments from the first time they said that they wanted me to do surgery for, we were just talking about this, so I'm going to bring it up, carpal tunnel in both wrists. And at the time, I was commuting and working and taking care of a house and all of that. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How are you going to, and only give me a 50% chance that I'm going to be out of pain? Let's hold that off and see. And thankfully, I had talked to enough people that were like, hold off as long as you can. Find different ways. And if you need it, then go do it. Thankfully, they put that little seed. And I learned, my own self massage and self care. I looked into Donna Eden and energy medicine and figuring out ways to hold my energy bubble more. Because of things that I never healed from in my childhood up until now, I brought all of that with me without knowing. So that tough love, that shame, that you're not good enough, all those things I brought into my energy field and along with me. It was that baggage that I brought, and it came into the dreams come true. So I do have a point to all this. She is my dream come true because right before I found out that I was pregnant with her, I had just, like I said, lost that weight. I just finally got a six pack, which I hadn't had since probably middle school, maybe. So I've always been up and down in fluctuations, but I had been stuck with that weight for a long time. And I found out then, I asked the doctor, what can I do? What can I do to keep that weight off, but keep her healthy? I don't know, and I've heard that it's hard to get baby weight off, and I don't want to go through that struggle. So I learned that you only have to add 500 calories to have a healthy baby. So I added between 500 and 1,000, depending on how my body felt, and no matter how many and what she kicked me on. Um, so, and then when I had her, because I knew that I had all those things and I had these things, because I was also told that I was looking at possibly 3 months in bed. If you knew me back then, was a full blown A type personality, and there's no way still now I can sit for a while, but 3 months in bed, you might as well bring me the straight jacket too. So I told them that's not gonna work. We're gonna have to figure out something. So I started doing exercises and started working on my core before having her. And thankfully and gratefully, I was able to work up until a week before she came. That's when she had had enough stress and everything that I was putting myself under at work. She she had enough and it was time. But when I went back to work, I added commute. I added different things. Mm, By the time I left the Tracy house, I was seeing a chiropractor, an acupuncturist, a doctor, on a ton of meds, and still having to get out of the car every 45 minutes to an hour, because by the time I got to work, my back was locked up and it took me about 10 to 15 minutes to get out of the car. So part of the time I worked hunched over like I was an 80-year-old. But I had to keep working because disability didn't pay my bills. So thankfully and gratefully, I was pushed to figuring out ways for me to keep going. So I bring this up because I realized that I haven't been talking about my course of shifting our shiitake, because those are the pieces, the exercises, the things I did, the changes in my lifestyle that I made. Those are the pieces that I didn't add in back then. So I will be adding those in this next couple of weeks. Different exercises and different things that I changed to keep my body moving on a regular basis, no matter what outside sources were going on, whether the doctors and physical therapists and I were working together, or we were at a time of pause. Because in 2012, I was going a couple times a month at minimum to doctors, chiropractors, and acupuncturists to keep going and pushing my life through, which all of those things were adding up to thousands of dollars sometimes, which is why disability didn't work, because I had a baby to take care of. So today, I can't remember the last time I had to go to a chiropractor or an acupuncturist, thankfully and gratefully. Is my body perfect? Is my health all perfect? No, it's a work in progress. We're aging, things are changing. It's a constant growing battle, and that's what it is. And we got to learn to take what resonates with us from other people and leave the rest and find those things. I can't tell anybody how to do it, because how you're going to do it is different for you than it is for me. So I am not a person to come to if you want me to do it for you. That's not me. I can't do it. I'm not good at it. And the compassion's not there. But if you want somebody to join you and figure out and find some fun and ease to get your own wellness journey started, either it's kick started, restarted, whatever place you're at, no matter where you're at, we can do it from any position. There was an 80-year-old woman with an oxygen tank that used to whoop my booty at the physical therapist office at one point in time. And today, I could actually take her. And I know that's not saying much, but considering I think I was, I don't know, somewhere around 28, 30, and I couldn't say that back then. I had a walker to get me from place to place. I've had a portable cane in my purse because I was unstable in my walking. And I'm not afraid to admit those things today. Not everybody knew it because I didn't want the oh poor pity me's. That's not what it's about. Poor pity me's irritate me. I love you so much. None of us had time for that. They didn't get me anywhere. It's love and compassion and grace, yes, and finding something that works for us. Yes, we can find it in each other in different ways. It's minimum, even if it's just minimum, turning the awareness to stretching before and as you get up, especially if you're sitting for a long time. And it doesn't matter the age. I used to think because I was 20, I could just jump right up. Huh. Let me tell you something. I can also lock right up too. Even in my 20s, there was times where I did a weekend warrior stunt and helped somebody out, pushed myself after a 70 to 90-hour working commute week, and then came back on Monday morning, jumped at work and went, ah, uh-oh, I still got a day to do. I still got to get home. Being mindful about our body and noticing what we notice is a big piece. And that's the first mindset, is learning that our bodies do tell us. And when we take that time to listen, we can shift it. The motivation for me is I want to be there to watch her grow up for as long as I possibly could. I lived the first part of my life thinking that I was already on borrowed time. So why not do whatever and not take care of my body? Because whatever. I wish I would have known. I should have taken care of my body for 100 years, not the sprint years. Just saying. So now it's time to run life for me like the marathon it is. We can have those short sprints and spurts, but running those marathons feels so much better. That steady pace, whether it's slow and steady or, that fast pace, hoofing it. Whatever feels good to you, do it. Find it. It's worth it. And if it isn't in me, that's okay. Find somebody that resonates because we can help each other along this way. And there is solutions. We just got to look for them. So I'm going to jump us or take us off of YouTube for now. We have Wellness Wednesday. This week is a sip and meditate free week. Are you back to Thirsty Thursdays yet? Not yet? Okay. We have, let's see, Shifter Shitake next Monday. I'm also going to be jumping on YouTube and Facebook more um, to share and updating those um, videos to share more of the movements and mindset that got me where I am today. And even if we don't agree on how I got here, it doesn't matter. It's okay. We're all different, and that's okay. Let's just honor each other and do our best to share kindness, even if we don't agree, because it really does matter. When we're empowering each other, it feels so much better. The difference is worth it to me. And that's why I limit some of my places these days. And that's okay. Taking care of ourselves is worth it. And August 22nd, we're talking about a team gathering here for a freaking full moon gathering and get together. Just some fun and all about that. So if you're interested, hit one of us up and find out, but it's time to have more fun and find more fun for us, whatever that is. It's worth it. If I can smile from the grumpy, inflamed person that I used to be, if you've known me for a long time, you know who I used to be. I'm not ashamed of who I used to be. I don't hold that guilt and shame anymore. Thankfully and gratefully, I do the work on a daily. And if it comes up, I work through it. It's worth it. So, until next time, I love you guys. And as always, you're worth it. I love you. Peace and purple. And sometimes there is that go fluff yourself. Why? Because we can fluff each other and fluff ourselves too. And it's worth it.